Okay. Let's just start by saying that this chapter wasn't even in the movie, basically.
It's like 3 seconds of the movie.
Yeah. So, to give you guys a little background, we refreshed ourselves about the movie. It had been a while since I had seen it. Probably had been a while since you had seen it too.
Wait. What does a while mean to normal people? Because you and I watched it together when you were here. And
yeah, but I was there in December. It's now May.
Is that a while?
I mean, if you want to try to remember the details at the level that we're trying to compare the book versus the movie, yeah. That's why we watched it together, remember? Also, a lot of the movie and the book follow up until about this point. Now, there are things there are details that aren't in the movie, but it still kind of follows, and we were able to give you guys that. But
now
this is kind of where it deviates a little bit, and we wanted to go back and like get our memory back of what's book versus what's movie and what the differences are. And so one of the very first things we noticed, like she said, the whole dragon storyline in the book is like 3 seconds. So this whole chapter. Yeah, this whole chapter. So tell them what, we might as well just tell them the whole part from the movie since it was all of 3 seconds.
Yeah, well, okay, so the entire beginning, the library scene where they meet up with Hagrid and find out about the dragon and all this stuff, and then go to Hagrid's hut is literally just condensed into them going to Hagrid's hut. The library scene never happened. There are so many of those like kind of little things here and there that are just taken out of the movie. So basically they go to Hagrid's hut in the movie and
to talk about Flamel. They didn't discuss with him first. They went to his hut and were like, hey, because they found out who Flamel was, so they went to go ask him some questions.
Right. And then at that time, Malfoy watches, he's lurking, and he finds out about the dragon. And
well, they all find out at the same time.
Yeah.
Because how they find out is
instead of Malfoy finding out by eavesdropping, and then the back and forth after he hatches, like after Norbert hatches, then there's that whole like couple of weeks where they're waiting for Charlie's letter and stuff. Charlie's friends have no role in the movie at all. At all. So who gets rid of him in the movie?
Dumbledore.
So like sends him to Romania to live in a colony is what he says, what Hagrid says. That Dumbledore,
and then we assume that he's with Charlie anyway because Charlie works with dragons in Romania. So,
right.
But like they go to the cabin and the egg starts hatching while they're there, and they're like, "What is that?" That whole "what is that" conversation or whatever is happening as the egg is hatching suddenly, and then they look up and Malfoy's peeking in the window, and then the very next scene, after he runs away.
Instead of waiting for his response, Ron never gets bit by Norbert. Like
none of that happens. The very next scene after you see Malfoy in the window is they're going on to do something else, and they ask Hagrid about Norbert, and he's like, "Oh, Dumbledore sent him away," and that's it.
Yeah,
that's the dragon scene.
Yep. And of course, this goes really without saying, but Peeves is no character in the movies at all. At any point in time, Peeves is not a character. So,
but it would have mattered here because they didn't sneak down to get the dragon anyway and get held up by Peeves. So
exactly. They didn't use their Harry's dad's invisibility cloak to go up to the tallest tower to meet Charlie because none of that happened. And yeah, I mean, there's just so so much. Pretty much this entire chapter is condensed into 3 seconds of a movie.
Pretty much. So that is the book versus movie for chapter 14. So now let's move into our takeaways.